Before creation comes destruction. This is one of the things that Beerus is teaching Vegeta. Beerus, since the moment that he was introduced, was considered one of the strongest beings in the universe. But over time, the image of him being the strongest changed until the latest chapter of the manga, where we've seen that he has a power of his own that he's willing to teach Vegeta. The secret of the Saiyans isn't a tough one. It's the fact that they always strive to change and to grow as beings. Who decides what weighs on your shoulders, what should be forgotten or what should be not forgotten? With that, this is it, people. This is the latest chapter of the Dragon Ball Super manga. And before continuing, let's recap what happened before if you forgot. Goku was training with Whis and Vegeta went to train with Beerus, as he said that he has a power of his own, unlike Ultra Instinct. While we get introduced to a new character called Granola, but we don't know a lot about him, except that at the end of the chapter, the Oracle Fish said that the balance in the universe is shifting. The strongest warrior will be revealed soon. So this may say that he will be the strongest warrior. Who knows? And with that, our chapter continues. Planet Surreal. A ship is flying in the atmosphere and enters a city. As it lands, from it, Granola walks out. It's him. We see the inhabitants of this planet. They welcome him back. Granola asks if they can fix up the ship, which they will surely do. But when do you expect to depart, Granola? I won't have any jobs for a while. So take your time. Please try to take some time off for yourself. Granola smiles and says, yeah, that's the plan. We see that Granola may be living on this planet and everyone there knows him. He said in the last chapter that he wants to become the strongest, so why is he taking time off? As he's walking the mall, he gets some stuff that he needs. The cashier knows him and asks him about the old guy. How is he doing these days? He doesn't come to town that often. Granola tells him that his legs have been giving him trouble. But other than that, he's fine. He's over 500 years old, though his people have long lifespans, so that's not too surprising. He's talking about one that is an Namekian living on this planet. The cashier asks one more question. It looks like that they know each other, so that's why he's asking, why do you two live on the far-off mountain instead of around here with us? We Sugarians would welcome you with open arms. It just doesn't suit him, and that's it. So goodbye for now. Give my regards to the old man, the Surganian says. The inhabitants are good with him. They're treating him as one of them, and this is a sign that the people of this planet are pure-hearted or good people. That's why Granola is the way he is. He's not bad. As he walks off of the city, walking on the mountain hills, the voice, and I still don't know what is that voice, it comes from his goggles, tells him, say, Granola, why don't you live amongst the Surganian? Granola says, that city was set up for them by the heroes. It's not meant for me. The heroes are who take over the planet and sell it after the Frieza Force took over. The voice says, but was this not planet of the Cerealians? Sure, 40 long years ago. And now we go back in time and get a history lesson from him. After his planet was ravaged by the Frieza army, the heroes snooped in and started rebuilding. And those are the guys that we've seen in the last chapter. So this is his planet. The Surganians had lost their own planet and were roaming through space at the time. So they paid well for this planet. This place became their home, so we decided to move to this mountain. The voice tells him, I see necessary distancing in pursuit of a millipede cohabitation, something like that. We see that Granola is so caught up by his past. It's not behind him. His life in the present is only a mirror to his past. One eye sees what's ahead, the other sees what happened before. This is why he's seeking revenge from Frieza. As he looks back at the city, he sees the ruins of the city that he lived on before. He says it, I can see my hometown from the top of the mountain. the one Frieza's people destroyed. It's a reminder of what they did to my planet. That way, I will never forget. The flashback, the way he sees the city as the ebb forms of the Saiyans ravaged every corner of this planet, took out everyone alive except him. Reminds me a bit of Vegeta. I don't know why, maybe it's the sense of self-conscience or the being caught up by the past, by taking revenge, by becoming the strongest. His character mirrors some of Vegeta's attributes, and this is why I like it. This is something new in Dragon Ball. The new characters have deep history, the universe is vast, and expanding is a great way to introduce more storylines like this. But time doesn't heal for all. How many planets have you Saiyans destroyed? Beerus says, talking to Vegeta, mirroring on the other spectrum in the universe, seeing the victim that is suffering because of the Saiyan deeds, and now the Saiyan whose deeds are haunting him till this point in the future. How their lives are now. Vegeta from behind Beerus says, hard to say. Fighting was the only way of life for my people, so we had a way of racking up sin after sin. However, it wasn't until Frieza's clan came along and began using us that the destruction became business as usual. Beerus tells him, you're trying to lay all the blame for your wicked ways on Frieza. Vegeta tells him, not in the least. This is what I meant about mirroring. We've seen Granola and the way he's living with regret and the self-consciousness that he has about his planet and the past and how he wants revenge for what Frieza did to him. While Vegeta knows that what he did and what his people did to all the planets, including the one that Granola lived on, is a sin. It's something that if they went back in time, he wouldn't do the same. He knows that his sins can't be forgiven. He knows that him and his people are who to blame. He's living with that regret. This is what Granola doesn't know about the Saiyans now. And as Vegeta continues and says, his pursuit for power, his father built his own empire atop countless deaths. Frieza's clan taking control didn't help, but the seed of destruction were sown before that. He knows that the Saiyans before Frieza were a destructive beings, and he doesn't deny that. But Beerus asks him a good question next. He says, so it was the Saiyans' destiny to be wiped out then? I'd say so, Prince of all Saiyan says. Beerus isn't happy about that answer. He says that it's ridiculous. Vegeta replies with, but never mind that. My people's problems aren't our concern. Beerus gets angry and says, I'm saying it's ridiculous. Vegeta and I also don't know why he's all caught up in that. What do you mean, Beerus? Weren't you going to show me a technique used by the gods of destruction? What could that possibly have to do with the history of the Saiyans? Beerus, as he's charging an attack, says, plenty. He fires a small blast at a planet and destroys it in front of the eyes of both Vegeta and Goku. The destructive power is massive. Even the oracle fish falls down from the staff and says, that was too far, Beerus. You just destroyed another decorative planet. Even Whis isn't happy about that. At this rate, if he keeps destroying things, we will be fresh out of planets before you know it. Goku, for the first time in a long time, admits it that Beerus isn't someone to mess with, and as we knew before, he has his own power, so you shouldn't mess with him. The prince says, was that the technique? That was just a small glimpse of what I can do. Vegeta, no. How can I acquire such power? And he doesn't even finish the sentence as Beerus launches at him and grabs him by his face, smacking him to the floor. What's the meaning of this? The god says, as long as doubt weighs down your soul, this power will never be yours to wield. Vegeta, angry, says, doubt, you say. Your own crimes aside, you're feeling guilty for the sins of all Saiyans, that awfully self-centered of you, mortal. Having the weight of the sins of everyone isn't bad. He was the prince of them, their leader, per se. So having the will and the sins and the victories of his people is his duty to begin with. But I'm also with him that this will also weigh on him to acquire this technique. Beerus at this point is trying to make Vegeta someone different. Show him how to become his ultimate self. Show him the truth to him and both Goku watch him. And what Beerus says shocks Vegeta, as Beerus also throws him away to a tree behind him. Here is a fun fact. The one who suggested that Frieza eliminate the Saiyans was me. So he revealed to him the truth that we knew from the start of Dragon Ball Super. The truth that Beerus is the one that told Frieza to destroy the Saiyans, unlike the past history. Till this point he thought that it was destined to plant Vegeta to be destroyed for all of their sins. But he didn't know that Beerus was involved. He continues, still think it was destiny? You are just gonna accept that? Go on, try me. With a smile, he says, I will obliterate you too. So he revealed the truth to Vegeta. He revealed to him the truth about him and about all of the Saiyans. To him, to Goku, to everyone. The truth that the Saiyans sinned before, did bad deeds, but all of that is in the past. And he was the one that was the reason for their destruction, unlike what Vegeta thought before. And this brings emotions to the surface. Emotions that Vegeta has long kept hidden. He charges up. His power could be seen from a distance. He transformed to his ascended Super Saiyan Blue form and goes at Beerus. But Beerus catches every attack from him. As Vegeta goes from behind him with a kick, Beerus dodges it with ease and kicks him back. But Vegeta, not giving up, he gets his momentum back and starts firing key blasts at Beerus. All of them reach their target. He doesn't give up. He goes inside all of the smoke, trying to hit Beerus, but he doesn't. Beerus isn't there. He's on top of him. He knocks him down. He tells him everything those Saiyans did in the past. What's it got to do with you now? As long as you're trapped by the past, you will never manage to grow past this point. Vegeta, and he's right. If you're looking ahead and only seeing your past, how will you see the flowers of the truth? How will you see the future up ahead? How will you grow? Vegeta is consumed by his rage. He tries to hit Beerus, but he dodges it again. With an attack after the other, still no match for Beerus. With one punch, Beerus catches him. He puts his hand along his shoulders and says, destruction. He uses the Hakai technique on him and blows him away. Goku can't believe it, but Vegeta is still alive. He has only blew his armor. Whis reveals an information and says that Beerus only used it on his armor, but still used a little too much power on it. It's still not something that can be easily passed. Lord Beerus walks up to him and says, my mind is always on destruction and nothing else. That's why there's no limit to my power. Listen here, Vegeta. If you really want this power, you're gonna have to destroy any stray thoughts and recreate yourself from scratch. Before creation comes destruction. Get it? And essentially what Beerus is telling him, like Ultra Instinct, instead of clearing your mind and focus on what you want. You focus on destruction and let all of the weight of the past drift away. Then you can grow. Then you can achieve new powers. As he said, you can't have creation before destruction. And it looks like he's gonna teach him how to become a god of destruction, achieve their powers. God of destruction, Vegeta, and then you'll go. This is the truth that Beerus revealed to Vegeta and Goku. The truth about them and about the future and the glimpses of the past. We see a mini story of the ones that Granola worked for and we've seen in the flashbacks, as they get information about the Dragon Balls that can grant you any wish. And this is how Frieza was revived. We get a bit more information about the Namekians. They talk about them a bit and say that before living on planet Namek, they were a tribe that lived on planet Surreal, the same planet that Granola lived on, his home planet. Their leader says that he just remembered something, that there was a lone survivor, an old Namekian named Monaito, and this old Namekian, it just so happens that he lives with their own Granola. So the old man that Granola talked about before is a Namekian, and this is one more piece of information. Any Namekian can make Dragon Balls if he has enough information and knowledge to do that, just like Dende. And with the power of transition, we go to planet Surreal. But we see that Namekian as Granola walks in, he's talking to him and says, "You're always so good to me, Granola," and this is because he's pure-hearted, he's not a bad person. They're exchanging small talks and having some conversations, talking about war and how Granola doesn't have anything for now. Monaito says that Sugarians always treat them kindly. Granola continues and says that Frieza has come back to life, and this is why he's laying low for now, but he plans on heading out. If the heroes put a pound on Frieza's head, they wouldn't do that. They're too scared to mess with Frieza's army. But bounty or not, Granola wants to take down Frieza and his goons. Monaito isn't on board with that thought. Don't even try it. You know you don't have the power to tangle with Frieza. He's right though. Granola wants power that he doesn't have, and he even says, in that case, I might have to restore to that. And as he looks at a Dragon Ball beside them, a one-star Dragon Ball. The Dragon Balls aren't for taking revenge. He knows that, but this is a moot point, since he'd have to find the second one to make a wish. So the dragon of this world, of this Namekian, only need 2 Dragon Balls. And if you didn't know, the dragons have their own realm. That's why the Dragon Balls are just a way to summon them, not create them. They don't live in the Dragon Balls. And it's been 40 years that the second Dragon Ball hasn't been found. So he can't search the whole planet for one. The Dragon Balls began as a part of a ritual to celebrate brave Namekian warriors. They're not meant any selfish desire. And that's what we go to next. A history lesson on planet Namek about the Dragon Balls, how they were created, how there were Namekians living on different planets because they came from a different realm. So there's possibly Namekians on other planets that they can make Dragon Balls of their own, just like Dende. I'm not gonna go too deep on it, it's not something that new. It's a way to explain how this Namekian has his own Dragon Balls. Back to Granola and Monaito. We now know that a lot of Namekians lived on planet Surreal, but he's the last one. So when he passes, it's the end of the Dragon Balls with him. But what if I find the other Dragon Ball and wish for our planet to be restored the way it was 50 years ago? Naito replies with, then what of the well-meaning Surganians who settled here? Would you kick them off their newfound home? Then Frieza and his army have to be eliminated. Granola says, like I said, revenge in the way. That only gives rise to new enemies. And then what? Fine, you are right. Give up on the Dragon Balls and enjoy the lot we've been handed in life. I better get some sleep. You should turn in early too. Granola is so caught up by the idea of revenge. The sins, the will, everything of his people is weighing on his shoulders. And this is the same thing that Beerus told Vegeta. Don't let yourself be caught up in the past this much, or else you won't find yourself in the present, deeper in the night. As Granola is watching some TV, they broadcast something about a mysterious ball that has been found. As he sees it, it's the second star Dragon Ball, the one that he needs. Because of it, he breaks into the lab where they're keeping the Dragon Ball and steals it. He runs away far, far into the woods and puts the Dragon Balls. He starts summoning the dragon as before told by Monaito, in a language that I don't wanna try to pronounce. And thus, the dragon has been summoned. We see him. He looks a bit like the dragon from Dragon Ball GT, I'm not gonna lie. The design is somewhat familiar, but this is the first time we've seen a dragon being summoned from just 2 Dragon Balls, unlike on Earth 7. So this is also expanding on the lore of Dragon Ball, the lore of the other realms, the realms of the dragons. as the same old Shinran with dragon said, "You who have collected 2 Dragon Balls, state your wish. If it is within my power, your single wish is my command. I want to be the strongest. Turn me into the greatest warrior in the universe." And this is his wish. But this is something that I'm still skeptical about. 2-star dragon, can he turn him into the strongest warrior in the universe and becoming the strongest warrior in the universe? Does that mean stronger than Beerus? No, honestly, I don't know if the Dragon Balls can grant that wish. Although it can make someone immortal, I don't know if it can make you a god or stronger than god. If that's the case, then Shinran against Beerus could have granted a wish to Goku that he become stronger than a Super Saiyan God or become a Super Saiyan God. But that is something to be seen in the next chapter if the wish is gonna get granted. Sins, doubt, regret is the well of the past, the lost souls that he was the reason of. One eye looking ahead and the other is only seeing a mirror of the past. How can you be someone different? How can you grow if your past is still in front of you? This is what Beerus revealed about the Saiyans, that their past is still haunting them. Their will is still chained by it to surpass it. You have to forgive yourself for your sins, and that way you can be stronger. This was chapter 69 of the Dragon Ball Super manga. I hope you enjoyed, and leave your thoughts about the events and what was revealed in this chapter. I want to see it in the comments. So yeah, I hope you're safe. I hope you're doing well. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe, and if you didn't, dislike. I just want to say I love you all. I can't express that enough. And saying that, as always, I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.